Xangle, Lihan Lee, and he'll be sharing with us on exploring enterprise, adoption, and challenges in Korea's Web3 landscape. So, yes, can we have Lihan, please? Oh, so sorry.
Hi everyone, how are you doing? My name is Lihan. I'm obviously from South Korea. I just came from KBW last week. And we'll be talking about exploring enterprise adoption. So I think this is a theme that we're company really obsessed in. We think enterprises are very important for the overall Web3 community in terms of adoption. And it's actually my second time to speak for InfraCon. I spoke in InfraCon 2 months ago in Paris. And thank you for having me here. And I heard that there are over 400 side events here in Turkey in 2014. It used to be 200 last week, so it almost has doubled. And I think it's kind of a sign that conferences are being decentralized, really. And I'm glad to be here. Okay, let me just start with a brief introduction about ourselves. We define ourselves as a comprehensive service and solution provider to drive Web3 adoption. Our expertise lies in our research capabilities, information and data process capabilities, especially in terms of launching data processing. So we run about 300 servers internally. Also in AWS like cloud systems, but we also run our own service in our IC, which makes us very competitive in terms of cost efficiency. We provide our services in two forms, basically. One would be our EaaS, which stands for ERP as a service, so specific for Web3. And the other part would be our data research solution. So our EaaS has basically 3 components. One would be our Web3 finance components. It's a very efficient tool for Web3 foundations or enterprises who are adopting Web3 to deal with their on-chain finance. And our performance analytics, we provide a no-code solution for projects to assess certain key performances. And our focus lies in joining not only those joining the on-chain data with their internal off-chain data. And now our token engineering part, that's a tool to assist our token supply management. Especially in South Korea, retail investors tend to care about token supply management. So if you have a token supply schedule, and and retail investors, they constantly ask whether or not we're stick to the schedule. So that's one of the reasons why we're focusing on token engineering to provide a tool for foundations to deal with that issue very efficiently. And the other part, our data and research solution, we have our Xangle portal, and you can browse it with your phone right now. Xangle.io would be our URL. And it's an open global research platform. So it's truly open, and that many research houses who are very competitive with research articles are free to upload their research article into our platform. And we also have a very global distribution network, including Bloomberg or Market. So it's very unique that it's open, global, and then it has a lot of distribution network. And our blogs forum, it's actually literally a blogs forum, but it's also interlinked with our other products. So it's not only is it a blogs forum, but we think blogs forums are a place where projects can, it's a place where all folders come together, and it's a kind of an official homepage for most of the products. So we do provide that. And advisory, we're working with a lot of enterprises in South Korea and in Japan, and also here in East Asia as well. And we basically help them to find answers why they should adopt Web3. And after they're convinced coming to the space, we help them how, and we connect them with key infrastructure providers to help them to pursue their goal. Yeah, and this is a very brief history of Web3 infrastructure. Like it all began in 2009 when Bitcoin came out. And after 6 years, we had Ethereum, which was the first smart contract platform for everyday developers to upload their smart contracts. And it allowed, in 2017, to a phenomenon, what we call ICO boom, where we had many projects promising a lot of things to disrupt the traditional industry, and they were able to use Ethereum's infrastructure to raise funds from hundreds or maybe thousands of retail investors around very efficiently. And then bear market came, still infrastructure developed, and in 2019, Oracle's allowed us to integrate off-chain data into our on-chain space, and which led to the bull market a year later. We had DeFi summer, and then the demand for infrastructure in our on-chain space exploded. And Ethereum, although Ethereum increased its capabilities very efficiently, it wasn't enough, so which led to other layer 1 networks to emerge. And we also had roll-ups emerge in 2021, and other applications like B2B, DAOs, EFA NFTs, and the things you guys all know. And now, in the midst of another bear market, we're currently talking about modular blockchains, ZK VMs, LSDs, decentralized sequencers, and account expression is also a very important theme right now. And those kinds of building blocks are being laid to start another move on in another phase where another level of application will be possible for everyday users. So, so my thesis is like our infrastructure has already become sort of scalable. Of course, we have a lot of way to go, but still, we not compared to the application space, in my opinion, our infrastructure has become scalable. Now we have a lot of alternative layer 1s that have a lot of capacity for applications to run. Gaming companies even run their own mainnets to run their own services, as well as they want to expand their ecosystem to other smaller gaming companies. The Ethereum ecosystem is also evolving, pursuing their modular network architecture, as well as the rollup, whether it's optimistic rollups or ZK rollups. So the overall capacity of the Ethereum ecosystem is also expanding. And of course, we have a lot of other supporting infrastructures that helps to ensure the overall Web3 ecosystem. But on the other hand, the application layer is not performing that well recently. This is a round of great adoption of Xangle. And the primary reason behind this is the reason behind why so many users have been adopting to Web3 native application was basically to earn incentives. And in a bull market, the expectation also grows, but once the market sentiment turned into a bear market, there isn't much expectation to earn incentives for native Web3 applications. So a lot of users left, and believe me, this is one of the good cases. So many other Web3 native applications suffer from loss of, even worse, loss of user escape. And so my suggestion is that we need a robust industrial presence in our ecosystem. So if you look at the traditional economy, you not only have finance, but you also have traditional industries to make the overall ecosystem very stable. So on the right-hand side, this is a industrial map of S&P 500, and the area is proportional to their market cap. And the lower left, this rectangle, that represents finance. The larger part represents the non-financial industry. And what you can see is that finance only is very small compared to the rest of the industry. But if you look back to our ecosystem, we have, I think, pretty much solid ground for our DeFi applications. So we have a lot of good applications. We have laid a lot of infrastructure towards a decent DeFi ecosystem. But in terms of industry adoption into our Web3 infrastructure, we have a long way to go. And which makes our overall ecosystem very susceptible to market conditions. This is our unfulfilled promise during the ICO raising back in 5 years ago. We, as an industry, raised about over 18 billion for over 700 ICO projects. And they all promise to disrupt the traditional industry in all areas, including infrastructure, finance, communications, payments, energy, social media. So that would be almost all industry fields in the traditional economy. And 5 years later, what's the outcome? Only very few projects are left and pursuing the initial goal. And in my opinion, it was back in 5 years ago, it was a little bit too early. So it just takes a little bit of time. We had the reliable and scalable infrastructure back then. We're getting mature. Right now, mass-friendly user experience, we have a long way to go in terms of that aspect. I have a lot of expectations for account inspection, so I think it will improve the user experience very much. And in terms of regulatory clarity, although we're getting constant pushback from the regulatory side, in a broader sense, I think we're getting acknowledged as one of the key industry players from the overall economy. And bringing traditional businesses into Web3 will definitely help. So Reddit, for example, was able to bring in non-Web3 users into our space in a very short period of time. SK Planet, their membership program called OK Cashback, it's the largest membership program in South Korea, and they were also successful in onboarding non-Web3 users into our space. And this is a great example of how traditional enterprises are being successful in terms of Web3 adoption. And what do they need? So among many others, I would like to mention 3 parts. So compliance operations, it's important to get rid of the legal risk. Internal operation management would be very important for them because they tend to work based on KPIs, and formal line of operations also very important for them because otherwise, if they don't care about it, they would be exposed to reputation risk. And these are our solutions to each of their needs. So our Web3 finance module would help them to deal with their financial compliance requirements. Our tokenomics engineering would help them to deal with managing their token supplies. And our performance analytics module will help them to keep their key performance indicators and also join their internal data with the on-chain data to get an overall picture. And our research hub, Lightwatch and Xangle Analytics, that will be our public part of our product. So the other parts would be for the internal users. These are the components that are designed to deal with external communications, and research is also very important to position themselves in the overall Web3 ecosystem. Lightwatch is a proof tool for them to prove that their current circulating supply doesn't exceed their initial supply schedule, and our Xangle Analytics is a tool to distribute their key performance indicator to the research community as well as the holders. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you very much for having me, and looking forward to other speakers.
Thank you so much for sharing with us more about